Hello, aspiring future regulatory affairs leaders. Guys, this is going to be a very, very important video for you because I'm going to share with you 6 reasons why regulatory affairs managers or leaders fail. So you do not want to miss this. And if you can crack this code, if you can apply what I teach today, you are definitely on track on becoming a future leader. Stay tuned. Hey guys, it's Brian back at you with another video where my goal is to mentor you toward a career and to help you create a life you're proud of. And in that endeavor, today I'm going to share with you 6 reasons why regulatory affairs managers fail. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. If you want to learn more about me, you can check out the link in the description down below. I answer all your questions. I give free mentoring advice. I'm here for you. And if you have a question that you want me to answer in a future video, just like this one, go to my website, 101mentoring.com. Submit your questions to me there. I'll answer it in a future video just like this. And be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out. All right, so let's get to the topic at hand. Now, I know a lot of you guys have found me because of my QA or quality assurance videos or regulatory affairs videos. I know a lot of you are wondering if you want to do a career path in regulatory or in quality or both. And a lot of you are reaching out to me either here or through LinkedIn. And so if you are considering a career in regulatory affairs, this video is for you. So let's get into it. 6 reasons why regulatory affairs managers tend to fail. Number 1 is that regulatory affairs managers or leaders don't really understand the true impact of their decisions, of the advice that they give. They just don't have the foresight and understanding and experience with other departments. They may say, here's what the regulations say, but they don't understand how that impacts marketing, how that impacts operations, how that impacts sales, how that impacts finance, and so on. And for the regulatory affair manager, maybe the intention of their advice is always good. It typically is. They don't understand the true impact, and it could have a serious negative consequence. It can really hurt their brand. It can really hurt their sales. It can really hurt the state of the business. They lack that experience. They lack that foresight. They're stuck in the regulatory world. And as a result, it's definitely a weakness on their part. Number 2 is that some regulatory affairs managers or leaders tend to lack operational or quality experience. And the reason why that's so important is because that gives them the how. I mean, a lot of regulatory affairs people understand the what. They know what they have to do, what they have to comply with, but they don't know how to execute it. A lot of the regulations are written quite broadly, and they do that so that it gives the freedom for a lot of manufacturers, a lot of brands to satisfy those regulations in their own ways, specific to their company, specific to their product. However, where they get tripped up in is how it's done. So it's very important to know exactly what the how entails. And in order to understand that, it's really good to get that operational experience or that quality experience, that you're on the production floor, that you understand the time frames, what it takes to deliver raw materials or to deliver finished products, to know your true costs of your product. It's so important, and it gives you the right context to give the guidance that you need to give as a regulatory affairs manager. Typical regulatory affairs leaders don't have that experience, and as a result give really bad advice or give very generic advice that doesn't really help hone in the other departments like quality or operations, and either they overshoot or they undershoot, and again, it has a negative consequence to the business. Number 3 on why regulatory affairs managers fail is that, well, the inherent function is, for the most part, academic. A lot of these guys only know the what. They just read the regulations and they can spew it out, but again, they lack the executional experience. They lack the how. They lack the knowledge, the hands-on, the practical execution, and how to do it. And because they lack that, they become more comfortable on the academic side. They just reference the 1 or 2 lines in the regulations and points to that, and that's their power trip. And that's as far as they go, and they just say, hey, because it's in writing, it's on an official government website, it is legit, what I say goes. Well, so be it, but you're not really helping the company at all. You're just saying what it is. And to be frank, anyone can do that. Anyone can go to the government website. It's public information. Find the regulations themselves and read it. What makes you special, what makes you valuable is that you know how to interpret it and you know how to execute on it and you know what's acceptable. And if you don't know those three and all you know is just the regulation itself, you're not really helping the company. You need to know these other three components to give the best advice, the best strategy, and the best actions for your company. As to why regulatory affairs managers tend to fail, well, it's because they don't have a legal understanding. Yes, bear with me. I know regulations and law are very, very closely tied, but they are not the same thing. And the regulation may specify to a certain degree the details on how you can comply with certain laws. If it isn't in the regulations, what happens? Some people take the approach that, well, if it's not in the regulations, then I have freedom to do whatever I want. And legally, that is not the case. And I think this is really due to a lack of experience or lack of exposure or lack of mentoring and coaching or training. And there is a huge difference from a legal perspective to a regulatory perspective. And they go hand in hand, they complement each other, but they're not necessarily the same thing. And so it's really important for you to understand that a regulatory affairs manager may over time feel like they're providing legal advice or a legal perspective when in fact they aren't. Not a lawyer, so they really don't know, and they are two very different beasts. You may satisfy the regulatory component but really hurt you on a legal component, or vice versa. So take it for what it is, but you definitely want to factor that in. Recognize that some regulatory affairs managers just don't have the legal understanding. Number 5, and probably the most common reason why a lot of regulatory affairs managers don't really progress in their careers, and the reason for that is because they get stuck on reviewing labels, they get stuck on reviewing ingredients, stuck on doing licensing. They become a glorified administrative person that obviously knows the regulations, but essentially you're not growing because you're a doer rather than a leader. And there's nothing wrong with being a doer. It's just that it only sucks if you want to be a leader and you're not being promoted because your boss or the CEO or the president sees you as a doer. And don't get me wrong, a doer isn't lesser of a leader or anything of that nature. They all have very significant role in the entire organization and they need each other. However, I'm just saying, if you want to grow and become a leader, but you're seen as a doer, right? They don't match up and it's going to really bug you. And it's really easy for the regulatory affairs manager to put himself or herself in that position. They just do licensing, label review, products review. They're just doing one task at a time over and over again. They're not really leading people. They're not growing people. They're not adding or contributing to the business, not providing a strategy or perspective to help and contribute to the overall business, which is so key when it comes to that next level of leadership in terms of succession, in terms of your career progression. So there you go, guys. 6 reasons as to why regulatory affairs managers fail. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Now, if you are an aspiring leader, a future leader in regulatory affairs, and you want more advice, you know where to reach me. I do have a course on this topic specifically. I'll have a link in the description down below as well as in the card above. Definitely check it out. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button. And if you have a question for me to answer in a future video just like this one, you know where to go to, 101mentoring.com. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.